What are the benefits of working in voiceover? After all, voiceover is a business, so what are some of the upsides to having a voiceover business rather than some other business? Today we're going to be talking about the pros of working in voiceover. It's all coming up on this episode of the podcast. Welcome back to the Voice Acting 101 podcast. I'm Jason. This is episode number 33, and today we're going to quickly go over a few of the pros when it comes to working in voiceover. Like everything in life, there are trade-offs to working in voiceover. There's a good side, there's a bad side. I'm going to save the bad or the cons for another episode. We can talk about that some other time, but for this one, I want to keep it positive, and we're going to talk about what I think are some of the best parts of being a voice actor. Now, before we jump into today's topic, just a quick reminder, if you want more details on how to set up a space to record high-quality voiceover, how to create your first voiceover demo, ways to start getting voiceover work, these are all covered in my 5 Steps to Voiceover Success Guide, which you can download at voiceacting101.com/get started. It'll help show you exactly how to start a voiceover business, or if you've already started one, but maybe you feel like you've hit a wall, or maybe you're not experiencing the pros that I'm going to talk about in this episode. This guide's going to help lay out each step to take to build your business and prevent you from wasting any time in the process. So go get that. It's at voiceacting101.com/get started. All right, let's get into it. The first pro to talk about, and it's one of the very first things that led me to voiceover, is the fact that you get to be creative. Voiceover, it's about auditioning, and it's about auditioning for all kinds of different roles and projects and characters. So that means one project might be where you're talking about some fun, new, innovative product or some kind of invention. And then for the next project, maybe you're lending your voice to an important topic that, the world needs to know about. Maybe that's something you're already passionate about, or maybe it's something you didn't even know anything about before, but just seeing the script and working on the project sparks an interest that you didn't know that you had. That's happened to me before. It could be like a really serious subject for one project, and then like a goofy animated character for the next. So it's all over the place, all kinds of different projects, whatever it is, whatever you're asked to do, every day is going to be different. You're going to be challenged to try to get into that creative mindset based on the direction you've been given by the client. But you have the freedom to be creative and interpret the script so you can figure out how you think that you should act and how you think you should sound, and then just give it your best shot. So it's really up to you. It's a creative outlet, and it's one of the reasons that people get into voice acting so that they can express their creativity. All right, let's move on to another pro of working in voiceover. And this one is another one that made voiceover more attractive to me in the beginning, and that is that you get to work from home. So many years ago, I was working at a radio station. We had a voice guy at the radio station. He wasn't at the radio station, but he lived many states away. And what we would do, we'd send him scripts, he'd record them, and then we would use his voice on the air at the radio station. And then talking with him and working with him, I learned that he did all the recording and all the production from his house. So he had a studio set up, and he didn't have to travel. He could do it all right there from his home. So fast forward to today, doing it myself for over 20 years. It's still an amazing benefit for voice acting. I've been able to record everything I've ever done in voiceover. Anything I've ever worked on, every single project I've recorded from my home studio. And I've had a few jobs where the client really wanted me to travel to places like New York to go to their studio to record. But by showing them that you can just use technology like Source Connect, travel wasn't necessary, and they ended up letting me do the work from my own studio. So if you want to travel for work, that's great. Maybe you're like an hour away from a major city where the studio is, and you don't have a problem driving to get to the studio. That's great. You can do that. Maybe you'll want to for some jobs, but the point is that you don't have to travel in order to be successful in voiceover. You can do it all right from your own home studio. And not only can you work from home, but you can also work from anywhere that you want in the world. You don't have to stay in one place. So you can travel the world, you can go cross country in an RV, you can live on a boat or whatever you want to do, and you can still record voiceover as long as you have an internet connection and some kind of like a portable vocal booth so you can set it up and break it down easily, or some kind of acoustic treatment. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be anywhere you want to be. You can move at any time. You aren't locked into one location because of your job or because you've set up a business in one location. Now, working from home, that's become more common with some employers in recent years. They may still want you to be in the area, but a lot of them now are okay if you work from home. Almost any online business you wanted to start would most likely allow you to work from home and work from anywhere. But that leads me to the next pro, and that is that to start up a voiceover business, the cost is extremely low. It doesn't take a lot of money to start it up. The bare necessities for starting a voiceover business would be your microphone, an audio interface, recording software, acoustical treatment, and a couple cables. And all that to get started, it's not all that expensive, especially now. You can buy some really high quality gear for just a few $100s. And that setup, even though it only costs you a little bit in the beginning, that setup's probably going to last you for many years into your career. So the cost to start up is really low. And then as far as monthly overhead expenses, that's also extremely low. So every dollar you earn in voiceover goes to profit. There's no inventory to buy. You don't have office space to rent. Eventually, you may want to have an app or a tool or a service that's going to make life easier for you. That may have a small monthly cost, but that's not absolutely necessary to pay those when you're just getting started. And even if you do, that cost of that is going to be pretty minor. And you may even be able to deduct some of your current expenses as business expenses on your taxes. So things like electricity or your internet, your phone bill, those could become a business expense if you're using them for your voiceover business. So low startup costs and your ongoing expenses are pretty low. Plus, the next benefit of working in voiceover is the great pay. Now, this is going to depend on the areas of voiceover that you're working in, like audiobooks or commercials or e-learning or promo. The rates are going to differ for each one. And also where you get your work and your jobs from, that's going to determine kind of what the budgets are. Just like if you're choosing a place to eat, you can get a burger for like $1, or you can spend, $100 or more for a burger. You don't want to be on the dollar menu. If you're working with higher caliber clients that have larger budgets and you're providing high quality voiceover, you're going to get paid very well for your work, hundreds or even thousands of dollars per project. And then if it's for broadcast work, you can add on usage fees. The rates can quickly take off from there. You can check out the non-union voiceover rate guide at voiceacting101.com. I will leave a link for it in the description below for some general ideas. There are no standard rates really in non-union voiceover, so you can make the rate whatever you want to be. And that leads me to the final pro that I want to talk about. Just like I mentioned about great pay, one of my favorite things about working in voiceover is that you are in control of everything, including what you charge for your service. It's completely up to you. If you want to take time off, you can. You can work as much or as little as you want. You can do voiceover full-time. You can do it part-time or at any time that works best for you. As long as you communicate to your clients so they aren't surprised, you can usually make it work for whatever you want your schedule to be. And then once you become efficient at landing jobs and building your client base and doing the work, then you can create a system so that you're getting everything done in less time and then getting as much time away as you need. So it's really about freedom. So these are just a few of the pros when it comes to working in voiceover. There are many more, but these are the main ones for me. And they're really about freedoms, right? You got the ability to be creative. That's a freedom. Working from anywhere that you want to call home. That's a freedom. Starting a business without taking on large amounts of debt. That's freeing. Getting paid really well for your voiceover so that you can work fewer hours. That's also a freedom. And finally, being in control of your business, making those decisions that are going to lead to your success, being your own boss. That is a freedom in itself. So I hope this motivates you in your voiceover career. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what is your favorite thing about working in voiceover. Also, don't forget, always looking for questions to feature on the podcast. If you have one, I'd love to hear your voice on the next episode. You can upload your question at voiceacting101.com/ask. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. Hey, thanks for checking out this episode of the podcast. If you want to see another video, there's one waiting for you right here, or you can subscribe to the YouTube channel down in the corner. Or if you want to learn the 5 steps to becoming a voice actor, check out this free guide. It's available to download from voiceacting101.com/get started. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you next time. See ya.